You've been praying for God to move, and God's been waiting on you to move. And if you don't soon move before the year is out, promoted to, not knowing that now that you're promoted into that position, you can't even rest at night. You've got so much pressure and so much responsibility on you. And when we get in a storm, I don't know what all I'm gonna have to go through to get to the end of it. I may have to crawl, I may have to cry, I may have to suffer, but when everything is said and done, I will come out of this. Because he's with me. He's with me. I don't know whether you're with me, I don't know whether you're with me, but I know I got at least one passenger. The Lord is with me in the storm. Don't allow the presence of the storm to make you doubt the presence of God.
But when we face difficulties and things aren't going our way, our finances haven't turned around, doesn't seem like we have favor, we have all these obstacles. But having favor doesn't mean you won't have challenges. Favor is what's keeping those challenges from defeating you. Favor is what's keeping that sickness from taking your life. If you didn't have favor, you wouldn't still be here. You may not recognize it, but you have favor in the storm. The scripture says God's favor surrounds you. It's with you in the good times and in the tough times. When we're in the middle of a difficulty, sometimes we don't recognize that we have favor. What if I don't get well? What if my child doesn't get back on course? You could live worried or stay in peace. You have favor in the storm. There is a force working for you in the middle of the storm that is greater than any force that's trying to stop you. Trouble, sickness, it looks frightening, but keep the right perspective. It cannot defeat you. The favor God put on your life is going to bring you safely through. What He has purposed for your life will come to pass. No sickness, no addiction, no person. God is in control. And sometimes we're so focused on the threat, we don't recognize that without the goodness of God, we wouldn't still be standing. In the middle of that difficulty, you need to remind yourself who you are. You've been handpicked by God. He said He always causes you to triumph. He's steadying you. He's making you stronger. If you could see behind the scenes, you would see Him making your crooked places straight, lining up the right people. Instead of complaining about the storm, you need to let the enemy know you are not going to get the best of me. You may knock me down, but you can't knock me out. You don't have to live worried, wondering why it happened. You know a secret. You have favor in the storm. You know what was meant for harm, He's turning to your advantage. The enemy wouldn't be fighting you if you weren't a threat. He knows you're about to step into a new level. You're about to come into your promised land. He can sense God's about to exceed your expectations, so He's working overtime to try to get you worried, overwhelmed by problems. Oh, get ready. Favor is about to turn things around. Well, Joel, if I had favor, why did I have these problems in the first place? God wouldn't have allowed it if He didn't have a purpose. Sometimes life is not fair, but you have to trust that God knows what He's doing. And you may not like the difficulty, but you're going to come out of that storm free from things that would have held you back your whole life. That sickness, that trouble at work, the loneliness is not your destiny. Freedom is coming. Abundance is coming. What's trying to stop you is only temporary. He didn't send you into the storm by yourself. He's right there with you. The scripture says, do not be intimidated by your enemies. It's no match for our God. Don't be intimidated by the financial setback. You keep honoring God, being your best, you will come to a point where you see that no more. You will flourish even in a famine. You don't have to get